Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. In this video, I want to share my thoughts behind displaying player names in-game, and whether we should be able to see them at all. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you so much for all of the support. It really helps me get videos like this done. If you do enjoy my content and would like to make it even better, be sure to follow the links in the description below. And also, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more Star Citizen content. So UI is a big importance in a game like Star Citizen, and getting it right without ruining the immersion is a tough challenge for CIG. Now we know CIG have stated that wherever possible they would prefer to keep the UI diegetic. This means displaying it in the game world in some realistic way rather than on an artificial HUD on your screen. Something that irritates me that I see in a lot of multiplayer games, especially MMO style games, is that player names are always displayed above player heads. Now I understand why this is done, and in some games it is needed, but in games like Star Citizen I feel like it just takes away from the fidelity and immersion and can obstruct your view a lot. Now I don't mind so much that it displays the names of only party members right now, as it is important to know where your friends are so you don't shoot them in the back, which I know I do quite often, and I am still very sorry about all that, but I want to put across my opinion as to why I hope CIG don't display any names under pretty much most circumstances. Now what sparked my interest in making this video was to do with the upcoming 3.9 bounty hunting updates, stating that additions to gameplay to allow players to hunt other players with bounties on their heads. Now I have no idea what these additions are, nor am I going to really talk about that today. It is more to do with how having player names above heads would negate a lot of gameplay, which makes roles like bounty hunting fun and challenging. Let's say, for example, you are hunting a bounty, and when you get within the particular vicinity of people, names start appearing above player heads. Now this would literally remove any challenge at all for two reasons. Number one, you would likely be able to tell the difference between a player name and an NPC name. And number two, all you'd have to do is find the name you're looking for and then make the arrest, which is obviously too easy and not fun. Now personally, I believe CIG won't go this route, and I hope that they don't, but I have seen that some of the community are requesting names to be displayed. For bounty hunting, what I would love to see is that if you get an image and last known location of your bounty through your Bounty Hunters Guild app, then using that image, you begin to scope out the area that the bounty was last seen. Using your Mobiglass or another scanning device, you can systematically start scanning the population that walk by, picking up on those that look similar to the photo of the bounty, maybe those wearing hoods or items concealing their identity, or just those that act like players rather than AI. Maybe only once you've scanned and identified your target could you place some form of UI tracker for your helmet or your ship HUD to highlight them in game. This method, rather than the names above heads, not only makes the bounty mechanic realistic and require skill, it also gives the bounties themselves a fighting chance to escape, which leads me to my next point: anonymity. The ability to blend in, keeping your head down to evade capture. Names above heads in games like Star Citizen will make any form of stealth pointless. NPCs, as we know, will make up 90% of the population, so if a bounty makes it planetside and bounty hunters are searching for them, being able to blend in with the AI population will require skill, being able to mimic the AI's movements and behaviours, trying to avoid any bounty hunter scans and not bring attention to yourself. Not to mention that if you're just trying to sneak anywhere, seeing a name above your head would just make that impossible. So as I brought up earlier, it can ruin immersion. The level of detail in this game is so incredible that if the UI was just floating around all over the screen, it would look messy and just completely ruin that immersion. As a content creator, I'm always trying to show off the game in its best possible light. And if I'm in a party and names are all over the place, it can really ruin the effect that we're on this incredibly detailed ship, flying around this spectacular planet. Not to mention that in games like Battlefield, which have a lot of UI floating around their screens, it can actually block your view or distract you, taking your attention away from what's happening right in front of you, meaning that your focus is not on the game at all. For example, while playing GTA 5, how many of you actually drive around looking mostly at your minimap in the corner rather than taking in the detail of the streets and learning the streets themselves that you drive around? When we use any kind of HUD, it takes us out of the environment and reduces our senses, which in a game where life matters, focus should always be on what's around you. I personally feel that CIG's eventual player creation system, so not what we have right now, but stuff that's coming later, will be deep enough and detailed enough that we will be able to actually recognize our friends' faces instead of relying on a name above their heads. This will also encourage us to use uniforms or coordinated clothing for quick, friendly recognition at maybe long ranges. Now, I know that this won't apply to everybody, especially for those who are running in smaller groups and those who want to wear their own outfit, but in smaller groups you are more likely going to remember what your mates look like and what they're wearing. I think that if you are on the bridge of a ship with multiple crewmates all moving around doing whatever job they've been assigned, proximity VoIP and the character's details should be enough to see and recognise who's talking to you, so you won't need names above your heads at all anyway. Obviously, in the game right now, and probably in the next few patches as well, we are not anywhere near this level, with the VoIP inconsistencies and lack in character facial choices, so definitely having names above player party heads right now, in this early stage, is quite necessary. But for me, I would prefer that eventually, when the game is ready, there to be no names above player heads, both in your party and not, and instead rely on the fidelity and quality of their character assets and communications that CIG are striving for. This will also slow down the gameplay and decision making, creating more thoughtful gameplay, which is something CIG and Chris Roberts really stress they're trying to create with this game. Now, I would love it to be that if you do want to see your teammates' names via a HUD or some sort of ID, then make that a perk of certain helmets or tactical glasses. Helmets designed specifically for combat, which can give you the HUD that you would need or want in a tactical situation. This would encourage those intending on FPS combat to purchase those armor pieces and add them to their collection. Now, this is obviously just my opinion, and I do expect CIG would create something similar, as I do remember earlier conversations heading this kind of way, but to what degree, I can't remember. But I do doubt that CIG would remove the HUD completely, and I believe they have said this anyway. Personally, UI on screen, especially player names, some of which are ridiculous and very long anyway, can distract and obstruct your view, which can often leave me dead in many FPS games. With the level of severity of death in Star Citizen being pretty high, I do not want these distractions unless I choose them being the cause of my death. So I'm in the sort of remove the HUD camp and make it all diegetic unless you are purchasing items, armor and tools that make the UI HUD a real option in-game. But that is just me. I would love to hear your thoughts on whether you agree or disagree, or what solutions you think could be the best option. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more Star Citizen content, and hit the like button if you're excited for the Prowler game package giveaway coming to my channel with the release of Alpha 3.9 to the live servers. Hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss out on any of my videos. Follow me over on twitch.tv/supermacbrothers. Thank you to my patrons and channel members again. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.